I I'm just showing up here real because if I showed up here looking perfect with my makeup on and everything, who is dealing with bipolar, think why don't I have my act really together? So, um, say hi in the chat. Um, I'm gonna quickly say hi in the chat. See if you can do that. Again, I'll just hear what you have to say this morning. Oh, say hello. So, um, today is Saturday, and I'm just getting up at 10, which is bizarre for me. Totally bizarre. Um, but uh, working my job, bipolar, my business is doing well, but I personally, when I work more, I I become more symptomatic, and me the symptom that comes out is mania. I say, faster I go, the faster I go. So um, I'm really tired. I'm hoping that I get used to this new dose called Seroquel. Now, I thought that I would be candid and talk to you about the medicine on so that you can see if you ever look at me and think, why can't I have my own business or whatever, that I'm more successful than you. Um, it's not done without medication. And number two, I don't want you to compare yourself to anyone. Okay, so this is Seroquel, and these are the ones that I'm adjusting to. I had adjusted to the dose 2 months ago of what my doctor put me on, but um, I had to up it because of my um, hypomania, which I'll define what that is in a second. But here it is. I take 2 of those at nighttime, and I'm finding the extra milligrams. I'm taking prescribed 100 milligrams, which tell you if you know anything about doses. Grab some. If you know anything about doses, that's the. It's a high dose. I haven't asked Dr. Guyana, my psychiatrist, what is the max for that. Look it up. I'm also on an anti-anxiety. Okay, and I take. So I take one. I just took one of these. and this is olanzapam, and I take one in the morning, one at lunch, one at bedtime. As you know, bipolar comes with anxiety. I think before I jump ahead, I want to give you the definition of hypomania, because what bipolar, not so much, by Dr. Chris Aiken and Dr. James Phelps. Their definition of hypomania is just look like you're really, really productive. Here. Now I see my husband outside having a coffee. Sun is shining, so it's like it's gonna be a warm day here in Ontario, Canada. So go. So in chapter 3 on page 14, the upside from hypomania to mania and everything in between. Mania and hypomania take many forms, page 14. But at their core, they are both states of high energy. The difference between them is of 1 degree. In mania, there's a significant loss of self-control, while in hypomania, people can still put the brakes on. So, as one person put it, Go-Go Litz from New York Magazine, I was silly and giddy 1 minute, bursting with rage the next, running around excitedly in the afternoon, but impossible to rouse out of bed in the morning. So, mania and hypomania are often called the upside of mood. That doesn't mean they feel good. I feel infinitely worse during mania than when in the midst of my worst depression, wrote Kay Redfield Jameson, a psychologist who has spoken up about her own experience with bipolar disorder. Mania turns the volume up on whatever is going on inside of you. And that's not always good stuff. So I just want to repeat that sentence. Mania turns the volume up on whatever is going on inside of you. It's not always good stuff. Anxiety can turn into uninterruptible worry and dread. Irritability can turn dangerous. There are moments where pleasure is heightened as well, but those are rare and more likely to lead to addiction than contentment. Most common, it's energy that goes up. So, what I have is something the doctors calling it cyclothymia. Cyclothymia. I don't know how to say it any better than that. I should, my next appointment, ask him, how do you say that word? Is it cyclothymia? Only way I can look. It looks like it says that when I look at the word. Hypomania means a little manic. Sometimes it's so little that it almost looks normal. A little more talkative, a little more active, a little more confident. Wait, this is starting to sound like just about anyone on their best days. That's true. Every symptom of hypomania also happens to normal folks. There's a spectrum from normal to hypomanic to fully manic. Lines between them are not always clear, but we'll try to show you some guideposts in this chapter. Hypomania is the least understood and hardest to recognize of the moods. There are at least 3 big reasons for that. Hypomania is misunderstood as a happy, euphoric state. Hypomania is rare and brief compared with depression. Self-awareness goes down during hypomania, so it's often quickly forgotten. by me. In contrast, self awareness goes up in depression, and painfully so. There are many faces to hypomania as it's a state of rapid flux. Depression tends to sit still. The message is don't take risks, don't bother changing anything. There's no point anyway. In contrast, hypomania is always on the go. We're going to slow it down for the rest of this chapter. So hypomania is always on the go. I get told that. Stephanie, you're always moving, you're always busy, you're always blah blah blah. We're going to slow it down for the rest of this chapter so you can see what's going on one symptom at a time. Hypomania frame by frame. Everyone's experience of hypomania is a little different as its many symptoms can mix in various ways. The DSM-5, which is a special book in layman's terms, it's like the Bible encyclopedia for all mental health professionals and psychiatrists and psychologists. This book counts 9 symptoms of hypomania, and we've added a few more. It can happen at the same time or scatter around, flickering on and off like Christmas lights. Sometimes one symptom flares up by itself, like the racing thoughts that our patients struggle to shut off, especially at night. That's why I have to take medication to sleep. The core feature of hypomania is increased energy. Nearly everyone will experience that in a true hypomanic state. So let's start there. Energy is key to understanding both depression and hypomania. In depression, energy is low, and hypomania is high. Elevated energy may not stand out in the daytime. People just get things done. Students make up for depressed times when they miss class, workers finish projects, homemakers organize. None of this may look unusual. You might be like, cool, my friends really gets a lot done. But at night, pause, but at night, if I don't sit down with all these meds at night, kill myself. Because the meds are not magical fairy pills, like you have to work with your medicine. Cooperate is a good word. So if you want to go to bed for 9 o'clock, I have to take my medicine. In that case, it's 30. And then relax. And eventually, I just say, they're getting really groggy and working, and I have to go to bed. So, but at night, when most people are winding down, this high energy becomes a bit more noticeable. One of the most common symptoms in hypomania is cleaning the house all night, which I used to do in my younger years, but again, with Seroquel medication, I just can't. Go from room to room, decorating and rearranging, often working on several areas at the same time, and finishing none. So remember, you're finishing nothing. But when I'm in that state, I feel like I'm on top of the world. I can do anything, and I am. Untrue. You're not rational. Hypomanic here. In recent years, we're seeing this evening activity shift to the digital realm as an all-night social media marathons have become a common sign of hypomania. Whoa, I've never heard that before. So in recent years, we're seeing this evening activity shift to the digital realm as an all-night social media marathons have become a common sign of hypomania. Sometimes the excess energy is visible even in the doctor's office. Patients practically vibrate with energy, fidgeting, bouncing their knees up and down. Funny, that's what I'm doing right now in my left leg. I'm bouncing my leg. as though they are ready to leap up and head out the door at any moment. Bottom line, if you're wondering whether a certain phase of hypomania, if you're wondering whether a certain phase is hypomanic, look for the energy. It will always be increased. This doesn't necessarily mean you're bouncing off the walls. It's more energized than your usual state. Now, those of you who think, oh, you're lucky, you know what? I'm not. Not. I can switch to being depressed in a few hours. I'm hypomanic. So stop beating yourself up, is what my advice is. Stop trying to, like, I probably won't be able to get moving until noon today. I am very, very tired. I'm very tired, not from what I do today, but because of the side effects of the medication. And when I brought it up with my doctor, he said, pardon me, that sometimes doesn't go away for people. So, but his words exactly, you have to take the good and the bad. And in the afternoon, it's almost like someone turn the lights on and I'll start to feel better. Now, not without lots of coffee. Now that works for me, but it may not work for you. So, we'll continue on with that, because they talk about. I am gonna read this part, and then next Saturday we'll continue on. Continue on to the emotions of hypomania. So emotions tend to be more extreme in hypomania. When they rise, it's called euphoria. A euphoric mood is a state of exalted joy where troubles wash away and pleasure intensifies. For some, it is a state of almost spiritual transcendence. Euphoria is a classic symptom of hypomania, but it's also a rare one. You'll see that paradox a lot in this chapter. Many of the hallmark signs of hypomania are also the least common. More often, emotions intensify in hypomania by swinging rapidly from one extreme to another, which is called lability. I'm learning so much with you on doing this. So laughter turns to tears, and friendly cheers switches quickly into hateful scorn. There are a lot of dark emotions that go along with hypomania. Surprisingly, anxiety is more common in hypomania than in depression. In another surprise, researchers once asked people with mania and hypomania what they were suffering from. The most common answer? Depression. Those patients weren't wrong. They were just answering in terms of emotions rather than energy. So, people that have hypomania may be more energetic, but what they are suffering from is emotions of depression. So it's like it's really complicated. You gotta wrap your head around that. Just because I might have more energy doesn't mean I don't feel depressed. And actually, I have called that personally. I've called that a mixed state. So there are a lot of dark emotions that go along with hypomania. I'm just going to repeat it. Surprisingly, anxiety is more common in hypomania than in depression. Another surprise, researchers once asked people with mania and hypomania what they were suffering from. Most common answer, depression. Those patients weren't wrong. They were just answering in terms of emotions rather than energy. So I just repeated it, and I know I did, but for your benefit to understand that hypomania and being manic, you know, all pre-medication, we have this, my dog's here, she's getting in trouble. We have this mindset that it was so much better before I was medicated. I had so much more energy and I was so much happier. Not really. I mean, like, maybe you disagree, but we always want to look at things on the from the white picket fence side. So, feelings can run deep in relationships during hypomania. You may fall in love too early, easily, or feel an intense connection with people you've just met. It can take years to figure out that these relationships were not quite as fantastic as they seemed. Everyone is fantastic in their own way, of course, but no one is quite as fantastic as a new acquaintance came into your life during a hypomania. Oh my goodness. Okay, so like, I'm not sick, my throat's dry. um, Here's where it gets real with that. I refused to get help in my first marriage because I hate to say it, but like my family with good intentions were scared of me going on medicine. They told me just try to overcome my bipolar, but not understanding it. Like, I don't blame them. But we had a family member who did not survive bipolar, and they watched him on all the medications and sleeping all the time and all the things that, this, we're talking the 70s and 80s. Medications come a long way since then. And, you know, they were afraid that I would just be like non productive and dopey and always in the mental hospital. And so I just listened to them. And so I was in denial of getting help, which is most people. Um, and when my first marriage broke up, I very quickly in a new relationship because I was I was sick. I just got out of the hospital and I, like they say, you fall in love easily. But that's the illness. Like in my case, if it's really quick, it's because you want to feel better, and if someone's paying attention to you because your previous relationship burnt them out from not getting help, then someone comes along and makes you feel like the most handsome, the most beautiful, the smartest, because you're so charismatic when you're manic. Um, but you also are blind to the type of person that you're attracted to because you're not well. And so sadly, I became aware that I was not make the right choice with my new relationship. And he is an alcoholic, and I had to end that relationship. When you're hypomanic or manic, you'll be in denial, you'll be irrational, and you won't be able to clearly see what choices that you're making. You just might be, oh my gosh, this person's paying attention to me, and, you know, I'm crazy about them. Looking back doesn't do you a whole lot of good. And in this illness, there comes a lot of shame and guilt, which we're not going to talk about today. But look back and go, the grass wasn't greener when I wasn't medicated. The grass wasn't greener when I was manic and happier. There's things I hear. Being stable is being able to be rational and make good decisions and be thoughtful. Here, I'll show you my dog. Come here, Jojo. Come here. Oh. This is the family therapy dog. Her name is Jojo. She wants to go downstairs. Anyways, there, you've made your debut. Downstairs. So anyways, I'm gonna end it on that because we're at 27 minutes. Think about what I've said, and I'm just gonna repeat it. This box of meds, take them every day, and can't have a life without them. And if you think I seem tired, I am, but at about 2 o'clock, I feel like $1 million. And I feel good most of the time right till I have to go to bed. But those pills aren't magical. I have bad days like everybody because I have bad days like everybody. So that there's you, there's the illness, and then there's you just being a person who goes through stuff. So no one joined today, but catch it on the replay, and I will see you next Saturday. Take good care of yourself, and as I am starting to say every time I do video, you matter. Someone loves you, and you're wanted. So go and own this day in the best way you know how. And if it's 1 minute at a time, that's fine. Okay? I need more coffee. So I'll see you next Saturday. Have a good week. Bye. Take care.